by now you haven't figured out how to distinguish the noise from the signal, you never will. These tariffs are noise. They're negotiating tactics. It's the beginning of a negotiation. That's what it is. Each country's a different story. So India, it's cars. Germany, it's car parts. Canada, it's resources. Mexico, it's illegal immigration. This guy is doing what he knows best, to negotiate. You may not like his style. You didn't like it 12 years ago. You're not going to like it now. But he has been elected President of the United States with a majority mandate for at least the next 2 years. Get over it and get used to it. And he's going to continue to do this. And it's a great opportunity to solve a lot of problems. These tariffs will never, ever be put in place long term. Never.
Let's set aside the economic panic for a moment. All those alarming headlines about trade wars and tariff chaos? They're part of a high-stakes geopolitical poker game, and the U.S. just went all in. From Canadian lumber to Indian motorcycles, Mexican steel to German cars, the White House is dishing out targeted trade pressure like a seasoned dealer on a roll. But here's what the doomsayers won't tell you. This isn't economic collapse, it's negotiation at the highest level. Kevin O'Leary, the Shark Tank icon, sees right through the noise. He'd say, this isn't disaster. It's strategy. Every tariff is a calculated move. A 24% duty on Indian motorcycles? That's leverage. Squeezing German auto parts? Classic pressure play. This is hardball diplomacy, not policy failure. Yes, it's messy. Yes, some industries will feel the pain. But this short-term turbulence could set the stage for a massive global reset. The smart money isn't panicking, it's preparing. The only real question is, are you buying into the fear, or are you positioning yourself for what's coming next?
We're in the final phase of this bull run. Let me guide you. We've launched Daily Dose Crypto Alpha, a free private Telegram group just for the Daily Dose Crypto family. Inside, I'll guide you through profit-taking strategies, real trading tactics, long-term crypto investing mindset. Only 500 spaces available, then it's closed. If you're serious about this bull run, click the private link to join now.
Now, Michael Saylor is talking his book, all right? The guy sells stock and pref shares and debt and then buys Bitcoin with it. The stock trades at twice the value of the inherent Bitcoin. That smells like something that ain't going to work long term. Just saying. I like the guy, but it has nothing to do with strategic reserve of Bitcoin, which will never happen because we'll never get buy-off on a bipartisan basis. However, what will happen will be a stablecoin bill that will allow the American dollar to be digitized all around the world. USDC, of which I'm a shareholder, so I'm just disclosing, but there's others. We'll get a law that says if you can prove that you can take $1 trillion US and back them into a stable coin like USDC or anything else, we can trade that all around the world. Because let me tell you something, every commodity on earth, including all those ones up in Canada, are traded in US dollars. And the cost of transferring US dollars from one country to another is prohibitive, and it's held by the banks. So Jamie Dimon never wants to see this happen because he sucks 2% out of you in fees. And so that's never going to, if you did a USDC, it's 1 basis point of cost to move the US dollar around the world. So that's going to happen. And I'm right about this. You just lost that one, Mooch. But the point is, in democracy, and it's a dirty little secret, there's a lot of fat in government. It drips like a chicken with fat. All these stupid programs that you're hearing about now have been built up over decades by various governments. And it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat or Independent, there's fat on the bone. And this is the first time someone independently has gone in there and said, let's go discover the fat. He does not have executional control. He's simply pointing it out. He has his own network of billions of people called X, formerly Twitter, and saying, look what I found here, look what I found here, look what I found here. Even if he's wrong 20% of the time, that's 80% right. And everybody should realize the government is really inefficient because they don't really give a shit about your money because they're only there for 4 years. So this is a good thing, and great stuff will happen from it. He will embarrass these agencies into either closing themselves down or figuring out a way to stop wasting this money. It's your money. It's your money. Your money. I would negotiate the deal with Canada. I would do that deal. I would do that deal because I believe in a giant economic union, a behemoth economy, and I've taken a lot of shit for this in Canada because I took Daniel Smith down to meet Trump, which is what I believe is why she only got a 10% tariff, not 25, because she had the guts to go and meet with him. But I think the future against the Chinese economy is to create a behemoth economy with the power that Canada has and all the natural resources and the giant, large, mega U.S. economy. You don't have to sell sovereignty, but you have to do something like they did in Europe. And you create a uni-passport and a common currency and no tariffs whatsoever, and you tell everybody around the world, don't with us. I think we're at a unique time in history. Canada, unfortunately, has been ruled for the last 9 years by an idiot king. And his policies destroyed the wealth of Canadians, from parity on the dollar to the U.S., down 41%. They can't even go to Disneyland anymore. And the idiot king is still there. There's going to be an election in the next 90 days. I begged Trump to wait. It didn't happen. But the idea was to wait until a mandate was secured by a new leader. It looks like it'll be a guy named Pierre Poilievre, and then he could negotiate with his peer. There is 13% of Canadians are willing to consider giving up their citizenship, become Americans. That's not enough to do that. But 43% want to explore some kind of an economic union. And to me, it can get to way past 50%. If you ask Canadians tonight, 11 out of 10 would rather change their Trudeau pesos into American dollars like that, because it's been destroyed by the idiot king. And so the key here is, what can we do together that makes us both better? Instead of fighting about the 49th parallel, let's worry about the Chinese cruising around to the north, where they're digging out minerals up there, and the Russians. And let's spend 2%. Canadians have not done that yet. The new leadership will probably say, look, to solve all this tariff warfare, we'll go to 2% on NATO, and let's get NORAD back up and running to show the Chinese there's no way they can come from the north, or the Russians. Russians, I don't really care about that much. That's a tiny economy, smaller than Italy. But the Chinese, you don't want to mess with those guys. And we got to protect ourselves.
That's time.
The financial world is buzzing over Michael Saylor's aggressive Bitcoin strategy, but let's call it what it is: a high-stakes shell game with shaky math. As the MicroStrategy CEO funnels company assets into Bitcoin at breakneck speed, the stock now trades at nearly double the crypto it holds. It feels less like a sound investment strategy and more like financial sleight of hand. Yet while the Bitcoin spectacle grabs headlines, a quieter and far more significant shift is taking shape: the coming digitization of the US dollar. Forget the crypto purist dream. Washington's real power move lies in stablecoin regulation. If USDC and other dollar-backed tokens become the global standard, they could cut cross-border transaction fees from Wall Street's 2% to mere basis points. This isn't just fintech, it's an assault on the banking oligopoly that's taxed global trade for decades. Meanwhile, a different kind of audit is revealing deep dysfunction in government itself. Bloated programs, redundant agencies, and unchecked inefficiencies have piled up across administrations. But now, one social media firebrand is shining a harsh light on the mess, forcing long overdue reform into the spotlight. While Kevin O'Leary breaks down trade tactics, Anthony Scaramucci zooms out to examine the full geopolitical chessboard, from Bitcoin to bipartisan reckoning and North American integration. Let's dive into more from the interview.
I think David Sachs actually did something brilliant by delaying, through executive action, a potential strategic Bitcoin reserve, because if you listen to David Sachs, he wants a bipartisan commitment to something like that. And what he feared was if Donald Trump and his team did it on their own unilaterally, then if a Democrat got into power, they would potentially reverse it for no reason other than the partisanship. And so the next 6 months are mission critical for that bill. And I'll just say three quick things very quickly. Number one, we have 27 reserves. It's not just oil and gold. Kevin knows this because he's from Canada. There's a lot of trace minerals and there's a lot of important things in, well, it's still Canada, so we'll call it Canada. I'm team Elon on a lot of things. Even though I don't like certain processes that are taking place with Doge, I think he is the right guy to do it. We live in a democracy, so I would like a few more systems in place to check what he's doing. But I am team Elon on SpaceX, and I'm fully disclosed an owner of SpaceX, and I'm team Elon on Tesla and things like that. On this particular topic, Sam has the advantage now. Now, Elon's upset about that, and maybe there was something that happened where he doesn't deserve the advantage, but he has the advantage now. And so if you're a securities analyst or you're someone analyzing where things are going to go, there will be a moat starting to build, a very thick moat starting to build around Sam's business. And so I'll make a prediction. They will cut a deal with Elon. It'll be sort of a greenmail-like deal. And so if there's people here in the 80s who remember what greenmail is, Elon's putting forward a potential takeover. I think they'll settle with Elon for billions of dollars and get him on side on ChatGPT. That's my prediction. I'm worried about Doge. I certainly, if you asked anybody in this room, is there fraud in the government potentially? Is there excess spending in the government? I think the obvious answer is yes. Do we want to cut that? We want to make the government more accountable to the American taxpayer? The answer is yes. But I'm telling you, we live in a democracy, and so you want to do this with a bipartisan commitment. And I'll give you an example from the 1990s. Bill Clinton started this process in 1993. Over the 8 years, he cut 351,000 federal jobs. He did it in a bipartisan way. He delayered the bureaucracy and saved about 3% of the budget per year, and it compounded out to the end of his term where we ran a $240 billion budget surplus. Last budget surplus for the United States was in the year 2000. So I am a pro-democracy person. Every single person in this country has benefited from our system, the decentralized nature of our system, and we've been protected by the fact that we don't have a unitary system or too much of an expansion of executive power. And so I'm personally worried about it, but I do like Doge, and I respect Elon, and I hope we can get some systems in place around it. I would change the Constitution. There are 27 amendments to this Constitution. We have not had an amendment of any meaning since the 1965 Civil Rights Voting Act. We had a 93 amendment that was procedural. 2 amendments. Number 1, I would end Citizens United. People understand what that is. This money has poured into the system. We've created an oligarchy on both sides, not just one side. And then the second thing I would do is I would end gerrymandering. And so I would just submit to you, I would like you to think about this. We're in a supposed democracy, but the candidates are picking the voters. The voters are not picking the candidates. And we need to make it look like the geometric shapes that we all would recognize from 9th grade geometry, not the current jigsaw puzzle situation that we have right now. So 2 constitutional amendments, and then you can cancel me. No problem. No, Canada should not become the 51st state of the Union. The North American continent has done way better than the South American continent. There's a great book about this by a guy named David Landis. It's called The Wealth and Poverty of Nations. Why did the North American continent do so much better than South America, where they have the same resources, the same coastlines roughly, the same amount of minerals and oil? It has to do with our legal system, and it has to do with the integrity of a democracy. And if the Canadian people want to be independent, and I believe they do, if you look at the polling, they certainly do, we should leave it like that. We should work with them. Kevin brought up something about an economic protectorate, which I certainly agree with, but I think most Canadians want to have their own national identity, and I don't think the United States should go back to 18th century imperialism and force something on the Canadians that they themselves don't want. It's just it's a recipe for disaster. No, they're not going to be good for us. They're tax increases, what they are. They're consumption-based taxes, and they're not going to be good for us. And the way the president sells them to people is very misguided. He makes people believe that the countries are getting charged the tariffs, but they're not. And the other thing that happens, and I think Kevin knows this, you get a lot of gaming in the system. And so you put the tariffs on China. They manufacture 49% of the good. They ship it to Vietnam. They complete it in Vietnam with their own people. And then they ship it to the United States unfettered by the tariffs. And so we would be better off with a fairer, cleaner system. One last thing is very important for people to understand. The countries were made uneven by design. We were trying to raise living standards around the world. And if you raise living standards around the world, you get greater peace and you get greater prosperity. You can study any level of diplomacy to understand that. And that's the reason why these tariffs in certain cases were asymmetrical. So people seem tired about it. Some people are shaking their heads. They disagree with me. But I'm telling you, the world looks at America very differently than Americans look at America. And they look at us as a beacon of hope, and they look at us as a symbol of help. And I don't think we want to change that, okay? That's my honest opinion.
Meanwhile, the conversation around a potential Bitcoin reserve underscores the need for bipartisan frameworks, not one-sided policies that can be overturned with every political shift. Sustainable financial decisions require consensus to endure, just as tech and innovation leadership demand flexibility. While one player may currently lead in AI, the rapidly evolving landscape opens the door for future partnerships and realignments that could reshape the competitive order. When it comes to government reform, history shows that real progress comes from steady collaboration, not abrupt overhauls. The fiscal discipline of the 1990s is proof that bipartisan strategies can yield long-term budgetary gains. Similarly, North American economic integration offers a blueprint for balancing cooperation with national sovereignty. The region's success stems from stable institutions and governance, which have supported growth and regional resilience. Trade policy, too, requires finesse. While tariffs may correct imbalances, they often cause distortions and evasive behavior. Broader, fairer trade agreements may offer a better path toward global economic health. These challenges call for solutions that weigh national priorities against international responsibilities. As America continues to shape the global order, the question remains: whose strategy is best suited for today's volatility, O'Leary's tough tactics or Scaramucci's diplomatic vision? Let us know in the comments.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.